After discussing user stories in details over the past two videos, I think it's time to delve into user story mapping. Jeff Patton authored the book User Story Mapping and is very popular and very relevant even today. But that is not how I came to know about user story mapping. When I started my career as a business analyst, I was working with a product owner, and the first time he shared a backlog, it was in the form of a user story map. We all know the advantages of breaking the product backlog down into small bite-sized user stories, something that is testable, something that is estimatable, something that is independent, something that's negotiable. So all the invest criteria that we know. So in doing so, there is also a risk that the team might lose sight of the big picture. And that's where user story map comes in very handy. So the first thing that we should do when we are attempting to curate the backlog for a new product is frame the idea. So what is the problem? What are we trying to solve? What is the desired outcome? And note down the features at a very high level as what your product should do. Next, try to identify the users and customers, and different groups of people might be interacting differently with your product. And so it might be a vendor, it might be a user, there could be an admin persona. So at a very high level, you should be aware of the key groups of people that will be interacting or using your product. Once you've identified the features and are aware of the groups of customers, the personas who are interacting with your product, it is time to map the user journey. So imagine that your product is ready. It is ready for use and you are a customer. So what would you do from the beginning to end? What do you imagine they would do? Download the app, register, create a profile. So try to imagine all the steps that they would take from end to end to your product till they achieve the outcome or the reason why they are using your product. Each feature will be very high level and probably will become an epic, and it will be further broken down into a couple or multiple user stories depending on the complexity. So to facilitate our discussion, I have just taken this random idea that we want to create an app where the book club or people who are interested in reading books or joining in book clubs can download and register to subscribe or kind of join book clubs all across the globe. So this is the post-COVID scenario where even book clubs have become online and virtual. And so there is a high chance that I might be able to join a book club that is actually being hosted in the other part of the globe. But because it's virtual, if I'm willing and interested, I might be able to join the same. And the persona that I'm using is a book club member. The other personas could be the people who host book clubs, somebody like a librarian, a college. So for now, for the sake of simplicity, we're talking from the perspective of a book club member. And you can see that I have a flat product backlog where we are hoping that they would sign up, they would log in, and then underneath each of this high-level feature, we have some smaller tasks or activities, actions that they would need to take. So if a sign-up register, I'm expecting they would need to sign up by a form, a simple form collecting the information, a profile would be created, later point of time. They should be able to update their profile, so on and so forth. So all the ones in purple are basically the high-level epics. That's how I see them. And they should be able to search book clubs. And then we want to give them the option to search by genre or by location or by authors. And they should be receiving notifications, like first for joining the book club, maybe later when there is an upcoming meeting, they would like to be reminded of it, where I have tried to convert it into user story map. Here you will see all the purple stickies are the high-level epics. It's basically the same backlog, but now that I have arranged it in a way that this is the backbone. The purple forms the backbone of the product backlog. I expect them to sign up, then log in, search, join meetings, view the calendars, and later also engage virtually, like post comments, tag each other, follow somebody. And in the last epic, I have listed that they should have third-party websites. So these could be links to local libraries, e-commerce websites, anything that would help elevate the experience. So we would consider all the stickies in the purple as the backbone of the user story map, and that covers the breadth, the entire arc of a consumer journey. If you look down underneath, all these yellow stickies are the various activities that are needed to be performed so as to fulfill the entire feature. So I have arranged them in such a way that if you go in terms of depth, you will see the multiple tasks for each of these epics. When we are just starting off, it would be excellent to have an idea of the entire arc of the consumer or user journey, so that we have all the purple stickies or the high-level epics or features in place. Then once we have the high-level features in place through multiple discussions, we will be able to add the sub-activities, or which will very well become the user stories in future. So the idea is that the breadth is the user journey and the depth is each feature level. Now, having the backlog in the user story format has many utilities. What are the advantages? The key advantage is that we are looking at the product from a user's perspective, since we are mapping the user journey. So when we are breaking them down into user stories, it would be very simple because we already have identified the persona and what was their interaction with our product. Secondly, is prioritizing. It's very easy to pull up and down. We can arrange the stickies as necessary. It can be easily done. This again goes back to the history where it's supposed to be in index cards, which were easily organized and ordered. Similarly, you see it as a product, the product backlog as a user story map. It's very easy to organize and prioritize the items. The other advantage is that seeing it from this view, it is very easy to cut out releases by moving the stories, positioning them adequately as needed, while taking into account all the dependencies and necessary risks that might be involved, as well as capacity, even though it's not visible here, but there is a very good chance that once we start discussing this with the team, we kind of have an idea on which of the stories are big items and would need more effort, and which are the ones that are. So here you see we have tried to carve out a minimum viable product, quickly try to identify features that would be enough to go to the early adopters so that we have constructive and actual feedback that we can work on towards developing our product. And the question is, who should be involved in user story mapping? It would be a collaborative exercise. So it would be stakeholders. It would also be the team that's going to develop the product. So it has to be a collaborative effort, and it's very important for the product owner to kind of have the inputs from all the key stakeholders. And stakeholders definitely includes the development team. If you are working through user story maps, then leave a comment on what you find most useful of using this tool. And if you have never used user story mapping till date, then I hope I've given you enough information and inspired curiosity for you to try that in your next product. Thanks for watching. If you like our conversations, then please like and subscribe to our channel.